Hello, and welcome to Tips for the Transition. I'm Maria Tomás-Keegan, life transition coach for professional women, and your host. Let's get right into our discussion. The title is Legally Speaking, Legal Resources and Human Elements. We're talking about this today because I personally felt very uncomfortable and a little scared about what I didn't know when it came to the legal matters around some of the transitions I've been through. And I hear this from my clients as well. What do we need to know when we're going through a divorce? Or we have lost a loved one and there's an estate to manage? Or we're preparing for retirement, just to name a few. My guest, Elizabeth Westby, is going to help us answer a few questions about this human journey into the legal realm. Elizabeth is an attorney who specializes in family law, estate planning, and probate. What strikes me as unique is that Elizabeth believes that as an attorney, her primary role is to be a resource for her clients, to guide them to make the best decisions for their particular situation. She is one of those caring attorneys who restores our faith in the legal system. So let's get her on now. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello, Maria. Thank you very much for the kind introduction and for having me on today.
All right. So based on your work with these women in transition, what have you found is their best untapped resource?
Frankly, it would be themselves. Women in general are unique creatures. We're great, and we are very resourceful, but particularly professional women are very mindful. And I also think that when our worlds have changed in some way that we didn't expect, as professional women, we become even more resourceful and we look for the best and easiest road to overcome whatever scenarios in front of us. And this ends up being this quality of being resourceful and being open to that, ends up being such a great advantage for the client going through any type of transition. Because then I know that she is more likely to utilize an additional resource and to take all of the benefits that resource has to offer her that will complement her legal issue that we're navigating through. Attorneys, we may know facts and answers to certain questions, but ultimately we do not have all of the skills that it takes sometimes to get through a particular matter. In a probate world, oftentimes it's not just settling the estate, oftentimes there's family conflict and two sisters, could be going head to head over mom and dad's estate. And sometimes you need to tackle that emotional side or tackle that deeper issue between the sisters so you can get through the probate, right? So you can get them to put their minds where they need to be to complete this legal process without spending their entire bank accounts. So that's when we like to reach out to our life coaches. That's when we like to reach out to our financial planners, maybe seeing it in black and white. How important is this fight? That's when we like to talk with our therapists even. I'm having this struggle and I think it goes back to my childhood with my sister. It has nothing to do with mom and dad's estate. So it's very important to be able to sort of understand that there could be a different issue, a human issue, an emotional issue that is clouding the client's ability to make a decision in their case and to help them tackle that. And sometimes it's just a financial issue and they need a tax specialist and there's something very dry, but it's not, the attorney's bread and butter. It's not their role to give them specific advice on this one area. So we get our tax specialists involved. And it just assists the client in in navigating through her case and getting it done properly and quickly. So really, I guess my point is that when you're consulting, when you're speaking with an attorney, you're not just speaking with the attorney. You're speaking with someone who has a network of professionals, and they will be attempting to at least plug you into that network, offering, I think at this point we may want to discuss this with so-and-so, and they'll present that option to you. And that's a huge advantage. I can't speak for all attorneys, I really can't, but for an attorney who's being very, keeping an eye on the overall picture and saying, I could really use more information on this area, or I could really use it would be useful to me if my client could figure out this, so we could handle this case more properly. It's a very, very powerful tool to be resourceful and to have your network of professionals available to you.
That's so important. I agree entirely. And it's something you and I have in common, being a resource for our clients and making sure that we tap into those resources when we're working outside of our own zone of genius. So I love that you do that as well.
My job is to diagnose my client, and then based on their situation and circumstances, finding a solution for them. So I really spend a lot of time getting clear on my facts. And, when this normally, more times than not anyway, unless we're really doing estate planning, which is proactive, but most legal issues are reactive. So the client is coming to you because they're in some sort of a scenario or state where there's some feelings of crisis. They're in a very odd spot. So maybe the first meeting, they're not giving you the full factual background. They're giving you most of it, but they've forgotten some of it. So I really take my time to listen and gain all of the facts. And even if I have to revisit it to gain more facts, I will ask those questions because it's that important to be clear and to know and understand how my client's life is being impacted on the whole. That, helps you decide what you're going to tackle and which order of importance, where you're going to spend your time, where you're going to spend your money. So once I know all of that, then I'm able to craft a solution.
Well, unfortunately, our time has come to the end here. We try to keep these videos pretty short and consumable for our listeners, but I know there's just a lot more we could share.
Yes.
And you and I could probably chat for hours, and we have. But I want to leave our listeners with the offer of your free gift to help them for their human journey into the legal realm. So to request your free gift from Elizabeth, please take note of the link at the bottom of the screen or click on it in the description below the video.
And if you have questions about it, I am, again, a resource.
That's great. Thank you so much for being with us today, Elizabeth. And thank you all, our listeners, for watching today. I hope there was at least one little aha moment or one tidbit of advice that you found that will help you better inform you on your journey. So I'd like to leave you with one more thought. Sometimes the bad things that happen in our lives put us on a direct path toward the best things that will happen for us in our lives. Till the next time, I'm Maria Tomás-Keegan.